Welcome to a world of unforgettable experiences and immersive marketing. Transform your events into extraordinary moments that captivate your audience. Whether it's corporate gatherings, product launches, or community celebrations, our immersive marketing solutions elevate your events to new heights. Immerse your attendees in a world of audio books and podcasts tailored to your brand. Engage their senses and leave a lasting impression. Explore the power of storytelling with our curated podcast content. From insightful discussions to entertaining narratives, we've got the perfect audio experience for your event. Ready to make your next event unforgettable? Scan the QR code now and book a complimentary immersive marketing call with our experts. Let's create memories together. Elevate your events with immersive marketing. Scan the code and let the magic begin.
All right. Here we are. Welcome back to another episode of the Pain Point Podcast. This is a special, not just because of the holidays and we want to say hello, but because we got some exciting stages coming up in January. And I've got two amazing speakers that will be here, and they've been on my stage before. We've got Coleen Stubbs and Lois Wyant here today. And ladies, come on in. I want to say hello to you, beautiful beings. All right. Another episode of the Pain Point Podcast where we're going to bring some solutions here to your business pain points. And I want to introduce you to these two amazing speakers. So, Lois, if you would, tell everybody a little bit about you and what you're going to be talking about in January.
Hey, yeah. So I'm Lois Wyant. I'm in North Carolina. I have JFT Web Marketing, and my passion is helping locally owned businesses be in front of people when they're searching for them. So we're going to talk about how they can use AI to get their online visibility ranked up.
All right. Awesome. Good stuff for businesses, right? We are in an age of AI. And Coleen Stubbs, would you come up here and tell everybody a little bit about what you're going to be talking about and introduce yourself? You're going to be on the stage in January as well.
I am, and I'm so excited for that opportunity. Thank you for that. I'm Coleen Stubbs, and I'm the founder of Simplified CEO Systems. So I take Go High Level and I strip it down completely naked, customize it, brand it, only put back in the items that my clients need, making it super simple for them to just show up each day and shine and be the face and voice of their business.
Oh, I love that. Well, thank you. Great ladies. It's great to have you here. And we are just going to talk about getting ready for 2026 because we want to go out with a bang. And how can we leverage the stage and the uses of the stage? I talk about that all the time. Getting on the stage is visibility, it's credibility, and it's a way to influence your audience. But today I want to talk about, what that means for your business. Once you get on that stage and once you start talking about that, what happens next? What does it help you? How does it help you when you get that visibility and credibility and you're talking to your clients, you're talking to an aligned audience, and it's an engaging event. We want to get in there. We want to definitely engage. But ladies, how has it changed your business in a marketing sense? I'll let you go first and answer that, Lois.
Yeah, so it's really great to be able to explain to business owners what's new. I mean, things are changing so fast right now, especially with AI. They're trending into the AI searches, and it's really hard to keep up with it, especially if you're trying to run a business as well. So being on a stage helps me to let them know what's going on, what they should be working with, what tools are actually going to benefit them, because you can be overwhelmed because there's just so many things available.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, especially a lot of our audience aligns here, right? We've got a lot of over 50 entrepreneurs, people coming out of the CEO world, right? They're escaping the great corporate life that's coming up in 2026, and we need to take advantage of the tools and the technology and how can we make our lives easier coming out of that, whether we're just escaping corporate America or we're even, hey, we've got entrepreneurs that are 5 years plus, even before that, people coming in new. You know what? How has that changed? Because Coleen, what's great, what I love about this for you is that you've got experience and Lois has got experience in more of a even in a brick and mortar setting, but the ease of working online and just being able to come in on stage online and just be like, here, I'm ready to show up, shine, and I can leave. You don't have to hit the traffic. How has it changed with you, for you, with the advent of where we are at with technology?
Technology and also just getting on the stages with, like you said, aligned audiences. That is huge. And so for me, I equate the change as like if you spend a few hours getting ready for your summit or your speech or event, whatever it is that you're presenting at to your ideal prospects, because they are aligned with you and they're there to hear what you say, that saves you so much time over cold networking, going to networking groups and meeting with people in one-on-ones over and over and over again. Some days I'll have 9 of those. And my goal for 2026 is to eliminate the majority of those and just be in speaking events, speaking directly to my ideal prospects, right?
That's a lot. Nine, it's a lot. And sometimes we get we book and we get with people, and truth is it doesn't help push the needle in your business.
Right. There's no alignment. And that's the scary part, and it really one thing I realized as a midlife entrepreneur, and correct me if it's not the same for you guys, I don't know, but I'm just done screwing around, right?
Yeah.
Like my time is valuable and I want to spend an exact amount of time building a business. And the rest of my life, I want to enjoy and I want them to support each other. I've heard people say that balance isn't possible, but it actually is if you have systems in place. And one of those systems being speaking at events and things like that, instead of running around and meeting people in one-on-ones or even driving to network events somewhere, right? Like just being able to hop online. Like I literally just sent my granddaughter away 15 minutes ago, right? And changed my shirt so I have no cookie crumbs on me and came on camera so that I can speak to people that are aligned with my business. They're looking for me. And that's a huge difference.
I love that. Yeah, absolutely. Being aligned and being able to be flexible to have your family come in to celebrate a holiday, to say hello to people, whatever your is whatever you're doing, and making those moments quality time and quantity time. And I think it's so important because you want to make sure you spend quality time with your clients. And if you're aligned with your clients, they understand, they get you. Hey, I need to step out. Hey, I need to, can we kind of reschedule it? Are you flexible a few minutes? Yeah, sure, no problem. It's a lot easier because when you have to get up, you got to get dressed, you put your face on, you actually got to put matching pants or skirt on these, when you walk out the door. And you get all this stuff ready, you drive in traffic, and somebody either doesn't show up or they're not there. Or maybe you're stuck in traffic because in Las Vegas, I have been stuck in traffic for 2 hours. They do not reroute the freeways. So there's nothing like that frustration. But what I really love is I can get in the mindset. Listen to a little bit of music, play a song, and then just get ready and come in with ease without not feeling like Disney, I think it was Pluto that they used to show all frantic in a car, um, you know, changing, getting crazy when he would come back. And he was the sweetest person, wouldn't step on a bug, then he'd come back home and he was just frazzled. So no good, no good. So, Lois, let me bring you in on this with the advent of what you do in the technology for people. How has that changed your life in relationship to your customers, how you can serve them and what you can offer them that dynamically helps them in their business where they can really focus maybe a little bit more on the creativity with what we have in tech?
Yeah, so it's like some of the things that are really important to Google would be like reviews. And reviews can be automated so that they're once you like have had the appointment set, then everything's scheduled, like this a text message or an email is scheduled, or you hand them a postcard before you leave, asking them for the review. And then there's a process where if they don't give you like a 4 or 5 star review, then they can be routed to just emailing you and telling you what the problem was. Or if they have a 4 or 5 star review that they're giving you, then they're routed to actually leave those reviews on Google or other citation platforms that you're on. So it's not like you have to go back to your office and go, oh yeah, I got to send this person an email and ask them for a review or call them or text them. It's just having things automated is going to save them so much time. And even with the process of making videos, there's automated process where you batch videos and have them just scheduled. There's just so many more automation available to people now that hasn't been in the past.
Yeah, and it's easy to use. I just remember years ago, a child from the 80s in Silicon Valley. It was difficult. We had to translate what the nerds were speaking down in their basement. Like you weren't allowed to go down to the basement where the tech people were, right? I mean, I used to go to work to visit my mom. They'd have, family day or something like that, or I just get to kind of explore through what was going on at work. And you couldn't understand them. Even the programs, it was so difficult to program like with an MS-DOS and a green screen. And it was just kind of like, wow, the Pong era. You really had to get into like a coding translation. And they didn't want to talk to you. But nowadays it's like, things are so intuitive and I love this. We finally caught up. It's so nice to see this. It's just so good to say, hey, I don't know what happened to those years before, 40 plus years. Now move into 2025 and 2026 is exciting because of what we are doing with this, the leadership that we have and the creativity we can bring in. And if we, take care of our heart and our soul, we can really add a lot to our business and we have room for that. But you're talking about, Lois, you're going to talk about 4 essential ways that every business can use AI. And, what are those ways and just getting into deeper, maybe from the question before to say, what is this gonna change in the long run, let alone day to day? How it's gonna make your business more efficient. You get to strategize. Maybe you're gonna make more money. What are the 4 essential ways that this brings to the business?
Right. So the goal is to get more leads in and to not take up a lot more time. So cut back the amount of hours you work. Like I remember when I was in elementary school and the teachers were talking about when computers come out, you're going to have shorter work days or shorter work weeks. And it didn't happen because when computers came out, I was spending more time learning how to use it. And then I was spending more time because I knew I could do more with it. So this is really the first time I think that we can actually cut back our hours that we're working. So using tools like AI, ChatGPT, learning how to use it correctly so that it helps you with content or posting on social media or creating emails, using a voice chat so that it answers your phone or is on your website. So it creates conversations with people and it answers the question because people don't like reading anymore. They want to either watch a video or they just want to get their answers. So they're not going to search through your website and look for the answers to their questions. But if you have a voice chat there, because again, we don't like having to type around trying to create a conversation. So if you have a voice chat there, answering questions, making appointments so that you don't have to be the salesman. And that's another thing with local owned businesses. A lot of times they're not good salespeople. They don't know how to close it and how to get the appointment. Whereas if you have tools that can help you with that and you wake up the next day and there's appointments on your calendar, how great is that? And then
Oh,
there's tools to
wow.
help with optimizing the website, which is really good. And also tools, AI tools in creating video that's getting attention.
Yeah, really. It's what it's the Yeah, how dynamic is that? I was a scheduler in when I worked in the hair salon many moons ago, a lifetime ago. And you got to answer the phone, you got to add the schedule, and people could only call during the times the store was open. So now you don't have to think about that. You just get to go to sleep and wake up, and there it is, right? That's just that type of magic that it is. And sometimes your hiring person, if you're starting up, you can't really fill that attendance time, whether it's a receptionist, because maybe you don't have a brick and mortar, or you got to pay a business to really come in and take calls for you. You can route, your off hours to a business hub that has a phone service, but still sometimes those messaging doesn't come through correctly. So it's a bit different. And, sometimes there's not a clarity on the receptionist of what they're talking or the language that they kind of speak. Your business has everybody's business has different acronyms. It's got a different language. And if the person on the other end of the phone doesn't know how to answer, that's not necessarily good customer service. So there's a big dynamic going on in there. And, there's a lot of change that is happening. And then you can hire people to do different services as well while you have AI. But Coleen, let me bring you in here for this one. I've got another question for you. You know, when you're building a business and you talk about your family and you're so, you close to the family is so important. But when you're building a business, it supports your family time, but it also supports financial growth without the guilt. And that's what you help people do on the back end, so they don't have to spend all that time on admin, because it's a lot. I mean, I do the admin, I do the emails, the social, the video, and I like doing that. I love admin work. I'm a weirdo, but we know that. Have you met me? But it really it can be so frustrating to figure out these systems, and they're not user friendly, and it's just like, and then all of a sudden, on top of that, you got to figure out how that all goes out. What kind of message are you sending out on top of it? And it's just like creative on top of strategy. It doesn't always balance well with people. How do you make that happen for people?
Yeah, and I tell you, that is a real challenge. But uh, like when I meet with my clients, I try to tell them, take some time and really sit when you're putting your business together, when you're creating your landing pages, your websites, your emails, things of that nature. Really get in a comfortable atmosphere, like you would be if you were hanging out with your friends, and then do your copywriting as if you're speaking to your friends, trying to share with them the benefits of what you're doing and what you're offering. And really, once you've done that, then automation can come into play. And the tools that Lois can teach you to use when you're going through AI is you can go in and you can take that and you can say, okay, can you please make this on a fourth grade reading level so that it's easy to understand, correct the grammar, things like that. And the things that she teaches too is clarity in your prompts, knowing what you're doing, because otherwise, if you just jump in on your own without somebody teaching you and guiding you how to use the AI, you're going to end up running in circles, not getting the right answers because you're not giving the right prompts. And you don't understand that until you understand that. And so, once you get all of that worked out, then come into the system and automate everything. So, one of the things I do is I take clients who are usually frustrated, overwhelmed with their back end. And even if they look really polished on the surface, which a lot of them do, their back office looks like a dumpster fire and it's scary to them. And we've all been there, and that's okay. That's okay. But the thing is I take that and I clean it all up and organize it. And then we spend time explaining the organization to them. I also create short Loom videos that show them how to clone what I've done and how to build something new out of that item that they've cloned, whether it's emails that they've cloned or whether it's a landing page or a website or an automation they've cloned, any of that, how they can build a new product out of it easily. And so being able to get the education that simplifies the process for you, and I do this in Loom videos, and they are stored in the CRM. So my clients can go, I don't know, if you're up at 3 a.m. and you can't sleep, you can go watch one, rewind, play, rewind, and work your way through things at your own pace. Once you've removed the overwhelm and the burnout, because your system's already done for you, it's a lot easier to learn because you're not panicking. You don't have the anxiety. And so building the system correctly, using AI correctly and efficiently, because otherwise you will run in circles, makes it so that you're confident in your business and you actually can look at your business and say, what do I want to do in my business? Like, do I want to be teaching cooking videos? Do I want to make cooking videos for people? Is that what I'm doing? And I need to be the face of that part. Then it gives you the time to do that, which grows your business because you're paying attention to the part that moves the needle, right? But if you're anxious and overwhelmed, burned out because part of your business isn't running right, People can sense that. They can tell that. And if you walked into two different stores that were side by side, and one business owner that greeted you was anxious and clearly burned out and fidgeting and not in their happy place, you would want to you would take that feeling on yourself. So you want to leave. You go into one where the business owner is happy and confident. They know their system's running right. They know they have the thing that's going to solve your problem. That's where you want to go. And so really, once you learn to use AI correctly, and then you can automate your system, delegate things that don't have to have your particular touch on it, then it gives you the freedom to show up and shine. And that moves your business, because business building is all about relationship building. And you've got to be out there and build those relationships.
Well, you do. And you know what? What makes sense is where this comes back to visibility. Not only your business, you're empowering yourself, your business, but yeah, hello. So you're speaking on the stage, right? You need to have some emails, you need to have social media set up before, during those summit times, and after. Thanks for being here and engaging those new leads. And then you've got a great system with what Lois brings in here, and that can set your appointments. You could speak on stages, you can travel the world, you can have a laptop life, and it just frees everything up, and you're like, hey, wow, I don't have to worry about you probably want somebody to overlook the system if you're traveling. I'll be that, that. And I know these two ladies are always got your back with, making sure that everything works for you and troubleshooting. But seriously, when you have a system where someone's not just selling you a product and they're going to ghost you and be like, hey, I'm not going to teach you how to do this. I'm never getting on a call. I'm not going to send you a video. Because once you make the video, you can share it with other people. You can share it with other clients that may need that. So you've got those videos ready to go. But imagine having all this set up, and then people can connect with you. And so many speakers I find that it falls short for them is not only just engagement, and you two are very engaging during the summits, but the other thing is that follow up. People want to know where to find you, and then they go to find you, and they want to know that you're going to connect with them. Maybe pick up the phone, maybe get on a Zoom, maybe have a group meeting where you have 3 or 4 people from the event there that recognize one another. They're all aligned. It's a little easier sometimes to have a conversation. It not only frees up time, but when you have a different group of people, there's a different dynamic and questions that people maybe didn't think of, or they weren't sure to ask. And it's more engaging, and it's more of unity in the group, and you have that freedom to speak up about that. I think that's so amazing. And you got a one-stop shop right here, and you can, if you're coming out of corporate America, you've got departments and systems set up for you, right? No matter what the bureaucracy is. What does that feel like when you're coming like, oh, hey, I don't have to do this? So, a question for both of you is really the difference of being online from maybe a business that you had before, and where you have a little bit more control, and you don't have to hire a big team of people to do it and fix things, because not it's a little hard to delegate if you're not there all the time, right? I would think that would be a nightmare. Who's running the shop right now, right? I mean, how is that? Lois, I'll go to you first. I mean, how is that with your business? How is that eased, that you can bring this on and kind of have a little bit more control?
Yeah, so my prior business life, if you will, my husband and I had a photography studio, and we did a lot of weddings and high school seniors and children and all this. And at that point, your best marketing was direct mail. That's really a time-consuming piece of marketing. You have to get the labels, label them, sort the mail out, take it to the right post office, sort the zip codes. It was just a mess. So I was in charge of the marketing for the studio. So as things came out, we were one of the first studios to do those things. So we were one of the first studios to have a website, which made it a big difference as far as being able to get in front of people. We were one of the first studios to use email marketing. So there's so many things now available to us that we don't have to do only direct mail or only newspaper. Or, gosh, do you guys remember the yellow pages? having a big
Yeah.
ad in the yellow pages, it's like probably if you're a teenager, you don't even know what the yellow pages is. So that's pretty cool that, um, just all of those things that we had to do, and they were not cheap. That yellow page ad, you paid for that monthly and you didn't know if it was working or how many calls you were getting from that. There's just so many things that you couldn't get an ROI from because there wasn't any way of tracking it, but that was what was available. So I love the fact that we have online marketing and that we can track things, we can get an ROI for it. And it's just as complicated as business owners might think it is now, it is just so wonderfully easy now than it was back when I first started a business.
Oh my gosh. I remember just being a supervisor. I was an area supervisor of over 200 people a night. So I'd travel around the greater Las Vegas area. And let me tell you, it's easy to drive in bumper to bumper traffic when you're getting paid. Because when I got off, that it was a little hectic, but I had people for miles and miles, and I'd have to go into other cities. I'd have to go a couple hundred miles out every once in a while to go visit a site. And it's a pain because I don't want to really roll up on people. You kind of roll up like this, like, do I really want to know what this guy is doing here? But to make things easier and make it a little bit more structured. And how has it changed for you being online, Colleen?
Well, let me tell you too that I was just thinking, Lois, when you said that, is that um, do you remember the cable direct TV little books they had? So we
Yeah.
would advertise in those, and everybody would get one of those each month that would tell them, I'm really aging myself. It would tell you what's playing that month on TV.
Like a TV
Because,
guide.
yeah, there were just certain things that played. Oh my gosh. So we would put ads in that. We would put ads in the back of yearbooks. We put ads in like the horse trader newsletter, newspaper, all kinds of things like that. Crazy what we did back then. And so I feel like when I ran my business, one of the things I learned after my first six businesses, because I'm a hard learner, I guess, at first, is that I never hired people for positions. I hired people to be team members, and then I would let them work with me for 2 weeks, work in my business for 2 weeks, and I would watch and I would see what area they did really good in. And then when I would meet with them for their 2 week interview, and I'd say, well, what did you like the most? And I 98% of the time hit it. And I say that because I can't remember ever getting it wrong, but maybe I did. But every time I knew exactly what they loved the most. And that became their job. And the beauty of that and how that correlates to online is that when you find somebody that does something really, really good, I used to think that I had to do it all myself. But when you find that person that does something really, really good, they make you look really, really good. And so if you hire the people, delegate, automate to people that are really good at what they do, it makes your business shine. It really moves the needle in your business. And the difference when I did that in my brick and mortar, I ran business 7 and 8 at the same time, and I was not overwhelmed and burned out. But the first six businesses, I could hardly keep up with myself. And so now coming online, people are like, oh, but that's expensive. Well, sweetheart, you can't build a business without investment. It
No.
doesn't matter if it's an employee you have or if you're buying a brick and mortar building downtown or a house to do Airbnbs, or if you're buying like a wagon and you're going to go do what do they call those bars, that traveling bars that go to weddings and things. Whatever business you're going to do, there's an investment, and you can make that investment your very best employee. And I promise you it will be more reliable than a lot of physical employees. So there's that part too. So it does get easier coming online because in one way you can see, and you're not limited to the people in my town of 600 people to work for me, right? Like I have the entire vast internet that I can find people to delegate to, or companies that I can delegate certain tasks to, or I can automate things. And that's just huge. And if you do it right, it actually just really makes you shine in your business.
Absolutely. And it's so much more user friendly. It's kind of like at this point with AI and what's going on and tech, it's not only intuitive, but you don't really have to read the instructions in the box, and it's no longer an IKEA store when you open it up and go, OMG, this is for the woodpile. I'm not touching this stuff. And I used to build stuff out. I was the one that would always build it out, and it was like anybody else around me would just look at stuff and walk away. And I'd just kind of build stuff and look at the picture and put it out there. But now it's a solution. And how great is that? Ladies, we are almost at the end of this already because we came in here, we got hot and heavy about this, and I'm just so glad to have you on the stage and share a stage with you. We've got 3 stages in January. I'm going to put the information in the chat here. But yeah, I want to give you two a chance. All the information is shared in the links, guys. Go in there. There's a Dr. Jeffrey is here. Royce came in as well. So Royce Blake came in, and I think it's Ligia Hernandez is here as well. Dr. Jeffrey Berger and Royce Blake. Thank you guys for being here. So, and some hounds are here too. People are just, they showed up. We turned on the camera and they showed up. How cool is that? We get paid to speak. We can pay ourselves to speak. That's so awesome. I love it, right? But any last words? I know you have to jump out, Lois. So why don't you go ahead and I'll let you go first.
Yeah, I mean, 2 things that always stick in my head. First off, my dad always said, work smarter, not harder, which is an old thing. But then a new thing is out in that for a locally owned business, it's not your competition that's going to put you out of business. It's not keeping up with technology. People are expecting a certain level of professionalism. And some of that can't be done in just by yourself. You've got to use technology to keep up with these, McDonald mentality of give it to me now, give it to me fast.
Yeah, absolutely. Talk about having to go. There's my alarm to tell me to remind you it's time to go, right? I've always got them on. You never know. Whatever. So, Colleen, last words for you because I know you'll be back, ladies, on this podcast to share wonderful tips here. I'll let you have the last words.
I'm just going to say that, as midlife entrepreneurs, we have been taught that we have to do it ourselves if we want it done right. And times are changing. We need to get out of our own way. We need to not be the bottleneck in our business. We need to learn to automate, to delegate, to use technology, to use the tools that we've been given or that we have access to so that we can really build a life and a business that we love. Because at the end of the day, if you're over 50, then you're counting the years that you have left to make your best years. And so why would we ever spend them trying to be everything in our business when there's a better way?
Absolutely, because we need assistance, we need help, we need support, and a good leader delegates, whether it is to the machines. Let the robots take over, because I'm going to get my lifesaver now that the bots are here, and I am going to be a little zen, right? With a little Star Wars, maybe go on that holodeck. I can have fun now, and I hope you guys will too. So you know what? This is really all about entrepreneurs who want more visibility. They want to be able to influence their audience, give some extra time, quality time to the fam or the neighbors. Even if you just want to have a quiet moment, crawl back into bed and get under the covers. It's less chaos, less hustle, and your business doesn't have to mean that you're glued to that laptop all the time, every day, unless you got a chip in you. But hey, that's coming out next year, right? All right, guys. So thank you for being here. Thank you for watching another quick episode of the Pain Point Podcast and supporting out there. Love you guys. Love the community. So great to have you. All right, guys. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Nicole.